Hi everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Vineet Chirania, who is the co-founder of Trainman, which is a one-stop shop for all information regarding Indian Railways. And I think many of the listeners would have already used the platform at some point of time. So hi Vineet, welcome to ELI.
Hi Priya, thanks for hosting me. Happy to be here.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure. About me, I am Vineet. I hail from a tier 3 city in the state of Bihar, which is called Naugachia. So I've been born and brought up there, then studied in Patna for quite some time. Did my graduation from IIT Roorkee in computer science and engineering.
Mm.
Then I got placed in JP Morgan, which was one of the biggest firms at that time. In fact, it was voted as the most powerful firm at that time. Somehow I hated the corporate work culture. So I immediately left my job over there and switched to working for startups. I worked for a couple of startups. Incidentally, both of them were in travel domain.
Mm.
And then I went on to start my startup Trainman to begin my journey. And Trainman, like Priya mentioned you briefly, it helps you in travel. So the starting point is of course train travel as the name indicates, but the idea is to encompass entire travel into my product.
Got you. Uh, I rarely we get founders whose product has been used by almost everyone in our listener base, but Trainman is one such app. Uh, I think most 90% would already know about Trainman, but those who do not know, how would you describe Trainman app to them? Tell us a little bit about Trainman from your perspective.
Sure, I'll also try to build the background story
Yeah.
as to why we start Trainman, right? So we have all been using one or the other travel app. In fact, the starter of e-commerce in India is not Flipkart. It was actually Make My Trip, which
Mm.
started long before Flipkart, right? So we are used to booking our flights on apps using net banking and all, right? So
Mm.
that means flight travel, in fact, hotel booking was something which was disrupted, which was made easy. But so being a train traveler, so I travel in train a lot. I know inside out of railways. I am a rail fan. That's a term that people use, rail fan. So I'm
Mm.
a rail fan, and somehow I felt that the train travel is entirely undisrupted space. People still face all those problems, right?
Yeah.
And I'll start with problem number one. If you try to book a train ticket, you'll most likely get a waitlisted train ticket.
Mm.
Reason: demand is extremely high while the supply is limited,
Mm.
right? So now the million dollar question comes: what will you do? Should you book your ticket? Will it get confirmed? Will it not get confirmed? Right? And this is a big dilemma. And thankfully, I am at an intersection of space where I have the domain knowledge. I know how railway industry works. What is the logic of tickets getting cancelled and then waitlist ticket getting confirmed?
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, I had the technical knowledge since I did my graduation in IIT Roorkee. I had knowledge of machine learning. Like everyone talks about machine learning, artificial intelligence, right?
Mm.
So that's when I thought, why not like build something for train passengers using machine learning, which can simply tell the confirmation likely, as simple as that. That's
Okay.
the first problem statement. If I succeed, I'll try some other things also. If not, I'll stop it.
Mm.
That was the first premise with which we started. So we built a simple machine learning framework into which if you entered your PNR number, it
Mm.
will take all the information like your, say your journey, your origin destination, your travel class, your waitlist number, your days remaining, and it will tell you a confirmation chance. So it will show something, say something like say 90% showing green color, which means Trainman recommends hold on to this ticket, it will get confirmed. Or Trainman might say something in show say 10% in red color, which means do
Mm.
not book this ticket, it won't get confirmed.
Mm.
So that was the first premise on which we started.
Mm. Just to interrupt here, I think many platforms these days are showing that probability of ticket confirmation. Is it your AP through your API, or they have also built similar products?
Well, they have built similar products. In fact, there's an interesting story beside it.
Mm.
So, this train ticket prediction is also on IRCTC nowadays.
True. Yeah.
But actually, we were called by IRCTC, and they actually asked us that how did we build this?
Hmm.
So it's an honor being called by the by the largest railway organization in the world, and then they ask you a question which you have built with a team of hardly 5 engineers.
Hmm.
So coming back to your question, most of them have built their own platform, but some have taken our APIs which they are using.
Got you. Got you. Yeah. Now we can continue.
Sure. Um, yeah. So that was the brief story about our product, and uh, thankfully, what happened is that the day we launched our website, we got 100 visits. Right. So 100 visit on day one is something unexpected. I never imagined that 100 people will visit our website on day one. So that is something which gave a lot of confidence in me. That is something which can scale. A
Hmm.
lot of people face this problem. And then we went on from just being a waitlist prediction platform to all-in-one train app, which
Hmm.
now has not just waitlist prediction, but train tracking, platform number, coach position. Even we have train ticket booking API, which means you can book your train ticket on Trainman app itself. You need not go to any other people out there,
Okay.
right? So we are like end-to-end all-in-one system, right?
Hmm. So 100 visits on day one means people were already looking for something like that. They had a thought like at least some company would be giving you predictions on the ticket confirmation, right? Uh,
Yeah, probably yes. And also because we shared in certain Facebook groups. So Facebook groups was a big hit back then. Of course, now it's actually WhatsApp group, which is more common. And some people viewed our link, they loved the idea, they then shared with their friends, right?
mm,
So on day one, I mean, 100 visits what we got. And I'll compare the visits now. So right now, the daily visits that we get is close to 1 million,
okay.
right? So imagine from 100 to 1 million visits per day. It's a journey. It's a great journey.
Hmm. So on day one you got 100 visits, uh, but how did you go from from that stage to getting 10 million downloads of your app? Tell us about your probably 1 to 100 journey.
Sure, sure, sure. Mm. So I think one of the most important things in entrepreneurship is that you decide what to do, but what is more important is that decide what not to do.
Hmm.
There will be a lot of stuffs which will attract your attention, but being a small team, see, a startup is always a bunch of say 3 people, 4 people, 10 people, right, who have to build things with minimal resource, right? So that was also very important. So we made a very important conscious call that until we solve problems of train users, we
Hmm.
won't go into flights, we won't go into hotel or any other travel mode out there,
Okay.
right? And even now I still feel that we haven't still solved the train problem fully,
Hmm.
right? So this focus actually helped us like increase number of downloads, launch lot of features. So I'll give you examples of multiple features which we launched, which
Hmm.
actually helped us not just retain user but also gain users. For example, after launching waitlist prediction, we thought, what is the next big problem which a train traveler faces, right?
Hmm.
And then we found out that train tracking, that what is the location of my train, is another big problem. And the reason is that trains rarely run on time in India. Right?
Hmm.
You can easily find trains getting delayed by, I don't know, 8 hours, 10 hours, especially in winter. So these days you'll see trains, premium trains like Rajdhanis, getting delayed by 10 hours, 12 hours,
Hmm.
right? So what this means is that you'll have to you'll have to actually focus on your users. So this train travel is actually the train tracking. It was a massive use case. So we then started solving for that, right?
Hmm.
So we had this feature of train tracking in our app, which brought us another problem that how will I do train tracking if I am traveling in train and there is no internet?
Okay.
So if I'm between two stations, I won't face any internet. Then if my internet doesn't work, how will the app work? So
Hmm.
then we went a step further, and our strength actually is technology. So there are some entrepreneurs, some founders whose strength is growth, whose strength is marketing. Some are good at sales. We are great at building. So
Okay.
myself and both my other founder, both are from IIT Roorkee, and we are great at technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we thought of again solving another problem also with tech. This problem wherein you get no internet.
Mm.
So we built a system wherein if you have no internet in your device, if you have no GPS also, so you switch off your GPS, switch off your internet, even then Trainman app can tell you accurately the current location of your train.
Okay. How does that work?
So how this works again is, at any point in time, your phone is connected to a cell tower,
Mm.
right? And we have like lakhs and millions of cell towers in India. So
Mm.
we actually crowdsource location of all the cell towers which reside beside railway tracks.
Mm.
Yeah, we have that in our database. Now, if you are traveling, your phone is connected to one of the cell towers, right?
Mm.
And which we know which cell tower it is connected to. So what we do, as soon as you book your ticket or as soon as you search about your route, the backend system will automatically send all the cell tower information which you will encounter in your route along with their locations.
Mm.
And now, if you are using your app without internet, since you have that mapping saved locally,
Mm.
the phone will find out to which cell tower you're connected to, and since we have that location, you can easily see a message on Trainman app like 100 meters from Kanpur railway station or 1 kilometer before Delhi railway station, which is good enough. Like
Mm.
you don't need
Yeah.
precision up to 1 meters, 50 meters is good enough. So this is
Got
how
it.
we solve that problem, right? And we didn't stop there. So we picked problem after problem. Again, I'll tell you something which is solved very recently. So
Mm.
you mentioned in the beginning that we started waitlist prediction, but now there are numerous apps out there which do waitlist prediction.
Yeah.
So what makes us different, right? So recently we launched something which we call trip assurance. In
Mm.
one word, trip assurance means if you book a train ticket from us and it doesn't get confirmed, we will give you a free flight upgrade.
Okay. Interesting.
Imagine, I mean, I don't think anyone else is bold enough to give this statement,
Yeah.
right? So we're so confident in our technology that we are doing this and people are using this feature. So a lot of people are opting for trip assurance, and we have given flights also to a lot of people,
Okay.
right? So this is something, this focus on solving problem one after one after the other is actually what has helped us to gain all these users.
Mm.
And like I said before, we aren't good on marketing. We so one if you probably ask me my weakness, I'll say marketing and sales, right?
Mm.
So the number of users we have amassed, we have roughly 1.2 crore app downloads. It's
Mm.
all because we have spread via word of mouth. People use the app,
Right.
they love the content, they told their friends, right?
Yeah.
So we actually got something which we call organic growth, which
Mm.
in one line is that do you do something due to which people will talk about your product during their dinner time?
Mm.
That is free marketing, right?
True.
So that is something which has helped us to grow from 100 users, you can say 1 crore downloads.
True. Personally speaking, I also found your app from word of mouth marketing, and and that's also a genius tactics, for any company to acquire users. But you, like you said, the strength is on technology, but not on sales and marketing side. Would love to understand how did you, or how are you trying to figure out the problems like revenue, business, uh, um, th- like who pays you now, how, what are the different revenue sources, and any sort of funding involved in this whole thing.
Sure. So thankfully for us, when we started our product, when we launched our product, we already had a full-time job,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this was our side project, which we built during night outs. We pulled a lot of night outers. We built during weekends, and then we launched it one day, right? And when actually we left our job and moved full time into this venture, we had a lot of customers, right? And we started with ad revenue.
Mm.
So when we moved full time, the ad revenue was substantial to cover our salaries, the founder salaries, and the basic infrastructure costs and few other costs, right?
Mm.
So we have been taking salary from day one in this company.
Okay.
And one thing we did right is actually minimize cost at all times. So instead of spending like tons of money on marketing, we kept it very organic, very product focused, which is what caused our growth and which actually saved us a lot of marketing dollars,
Mm.
right? So because of that, we have been profitable every year until COVID. So
Okay.
we were net profitable. We had a non-zero PAT. We have a positive PAT, profit after tax. And
Mm.
I am proud of it because very few startups can boast of this, that you are
Oh.
solving a mass problem and you are profitable since day one. Well, that is something that I am proud of.
Mm. Gotcha.
Now, what contributes to this revenue? We started with ad revenue. So during initial days, our only income was ad revenue. So how this works is that you simply use Google, Facebook ads,
Mm-hmm.
and so due to this Google, Facebook ads, our app will show different ad to you based on your searches, your history, your interest. It will show different ad to me, right? So it works in a really good fashion. And during a point in time, we actually started train ticket booking in our system. So
Okay.
since that time, we also started making something which we call convenience fees. So you book a flight from Make My Trip, you pay convenience fee.
Mm.
Similarly, when you book a train ticket, you pay convenience fee. So that also started becoming a revenue channel. And right now, the convenience fee, so this revenue model channel is actually dominating. This is the one which fetches us the maximum revenue. And but still, ad revenue also contributes a substantial portion of it.
Gotcha. Uh, you as a company are tech heavy company. You focus on technology, and that is your strength. You solve problems for others, challenges for other users. But would love to know what has been your biggest challenges while building and growing this venture.
Well, during the initial days, journey is easy. You just write code, that's it, nothing else.
Yeah.
But if you ask me now, there are numerous things from compliance to managing team to team building. So
Mm.
my entire JD has reversed.
Yeah.
If I recall, what was my JD in day one, it was just to write code, ship things, as simple as that.
Mm.
Right now, I do everything apart from writing code. That's the only thing that I don't do. So what
Mm.
I do, hiring, marketing also, monetization, how to earn revenue, fundraising. So we also raised money. I forgot to mention after COVID. So fundraising is another activity that I have to look after right now. So team building, maintaining a good culture, which is very, very important now. So
Mm.
I'm doing all these things. I'm wearing multiple hats.
Right.
But what I'm not doing is actually writing code. So my role has actually flipped since the time I started.
Mm.
So my journey, I would say, has been very, very interesting. Um, Plus, as an entrepreneur, you need to do, I mean, what needs to be done, as simple as that.
Yeah.
I mean, in initial days, you might have a choice, but eventually, you have to do what is in the best interest of the company,
Mm.
as simple as that. So I have to learn a lot of things. I have to wear multiple hats, learn marketing, learn product management, learn monetization, learn finance, learn HR, right?
Mm.
And here I am. So I could say that right now I'm a jack of all trades. As a
Mm.
CEO, I mean CEO, some people call that the full form actually is Chief Everything Officer,
True. So
right?
true.
So
Yeah.
that is what holds true for me as well.
So that's a big challenge. Uh, uh, like you spoke about hiring, would like to know how does hiring take place in a company like yours, which is heavy on tech, and right now finding good tech people is difficult. Good tech people, that too, retention is also a challenge. Even though you find people, you sometimes are not able to retain them for a long time. So how do you sort these sort of challenges, the
Well,
people?
hiring is a big challenge. I totally agree. But thankfully, whenever we hired, so thankfully we attracted only right set of people. Probably because right set of people want to know what's in the journey, what is it that they're going to build. So compensation is one part, but the work that they're going to do is another part. It's a more important part, right? And
Mm.
a trainman, whosoever joins trainman and whosoever is building trainman, our team right now, our tech team right now specifically, everyone works at scale. So when you write a line of code, you have to think of scale, that if like millions of users use my product, I mean the code shouldn't give away.
Mm.
The system shouldn't go down. So thinking of scale actually excites good engineers. Due to this, we have been able to attract good engineers, right? So that problem, I mean, we didn't face a lot of problem in hiring, thankfully, and retention is where our strength is. So we
Mm.
have made our culture so good that people stick for us for years after years after years.
Okay.
In fact, right now also, so our main tech person he is about to complete 3 years with us, our
Mm.
tech lead,
Mm.
right? Because we give a lot of freedom. We call this FNR, freedom and responsibility. Take
Okay.
freedom, as much freedom as you want, but then be responsible, right?
Mm.
And we have a very open culture here. Like there are no timings. I mean, there's an overlap which you need to maintain, but then you are free. On Fridays, we have mostly Friday beers. You chill out, you talk to each other, informal, right?
Mm.
And then we also pull a lot of night outers even now. So this informal culture actually, inculcates leadership in your team.
Mm.
That they know that they are responsible, they are free, and they are responsible. So this is what helps us retain them.
Okay. Uh, would love to know what is your opinion on entrepreneurship? How do you define entrepreneurship? What is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? And what are the skill sets or attributes in a person that tells you that he or she is entrepreneurial?
So I'll start with the word startup. How do we define a startup, right? So startup should have two basic traits. First one is that there should be an element of novelty. I mean, it has
Mm.
to be something new, something novel, something which hasn't been tried and tested before, right?
Mm.
That's very important. And second is growth, right? So if it cannot grow fast, it's not a startup. Why do startups command a very high valuation? Because of their growth potential. They can grow from zero
Right.
to million, like we did. We could grow from like 100 users to 1 million users, right? Because we showed that growth potential.
Mm.
So if you are solving any problem, if you want to be an entrepreneur, just think of these two things. That whatever you are solving, is there an element of novelty in it? And second, can it work at scale? Can this problem be solved using finite resources for a large number of people?
Mm.
Only then you should like take the plunge and do entrepreneurship. That's very important. And secondly, so you told that who should become entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So to that, I feel anyone can become entrepreneur. So if you had asked me in college that will you become an entrepreneur or will you take a job, I probably would have told you I'll take job. I probably won't do entrepreneurship.
Mm.
But when you feel that you have discovered a problem and you have the solution to that problem,
Mm.
you should take the plunge. I mean, and anyone can do entrepreneurship. It takes discipline definitely, but we cannot say that only MBAs or only IITians or only XYZ can do entrepreneurship. That's just nonsense, I'd say.
Right.
So anyone can do it. Just one need to keep sure that it should be novel. It should work at scale. That's it.
Gotcha. Uh, my final question. Like you said, initially the journey was easy, but then the typical entrepreneurship problems came to you, like how do you scale up, how do you wear multiple hats and all. uh, After going through all the problems, all the challenges, what would you say are some of the biggest learnings for you which you would like to share, and other entrepreneurs can probably learn from your journey and apply to their ventures? um, yeah.
So number one thing, I think I started reading books. So if I would not have started reading books, Trainman would not exist probably. We might
Mm.
have, I don't know, left it somewhere in the middle. So
Right.
books help you a lot. So I mean, they actually tell the journeys of people who have been there, who have done that. So I mean, books have helped me immensely.
Mm.
So what I would urge entrepreneurs is that uh, reduce your Netflix time, give time to reading books, listening to podcasts, doing courses. So this will take you places.
Mm.
Right. In fact, one should keep reading one book or the other at all times. And there are I could suggest a couple of books which is a must read, which is like a Bible for start. For example, Zero to One by Peter Thiel. An amazing read. You should definitely give this book a read if you want to do a startup.
Mm.
Then another book called Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. Again, an excellent book, right? So key like reading books, listening to podcasts, even like yours. I'm sure a lot of people will be benefiting from ELI, right?
Yeah.
So these are something which one should never give up. I mean, it's a sin. If you want to start up, if you're not doing things, it's a sin, right?
Mm.
So these are some mantras. Keep learning. Uh, these will help you a lot. And second, I would say is networking.
Mm.
So you should ensure that people in your network, I mean, you are connected to a lot of people who are doing startup or who have the experience.
Yeah.
For example, I'll tell you, when I did fundraise, I first did what we call a friend and family round,
Mm.
which means we raised money from mostly our family members and our friends. And 25 of my friends participated. They invested money in Trainman.
Mm.
So I was able to raise, I mean, a good chunk of money just because I was connected to my friends,
Right.
right? And in fact, when I did my seed round, even then my friend actually helped me in getting the connections. So connections help a lot. So two things: keep learning, be it books, podcasts, courses, and second, I mean, your network should be really good. Keep building your network. These are my two, message to the upcoming entrepreneurs.
Got it. Awesome. Thanks for your time. I think it was a lot of learning. Speaking to you, Vinit, and I would say my best wishes for Trainman, which is doing really well in the Indian ecosystem, and it is also solving a big problem for millions of travelers who are traveling by train.
Thank you, Priya, for hosting me. And I'm sure that you will also keep doing, you'll host podcasts of a lot of people which will benefit young and budding entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Vinit.
Okay.